Greetings and salutations, our good people. Welcome to another episode of
It's Relational.
And on this episode, we have a special guest down, right, Danny?
Yes, a
All right.
very special guest.
You know, again, we always say special guests because they are special,
Yeah.
right? They specially decide to come through and just chat with us 1-on-1, 2-on-2, 5-on-6. It don't matter. That was even proper math, but it don't even matter.
Okay.
But on this episode, man, we are traveling some distance. It's not that far of a distance. It's like our fourth, fifth home ish. No, we didn't claim it yet. We didn't claim it. We didn't claim it yet.
Don't get Kanan.
We're gonna drop them a shout out later.
Okay.
But before we start to talk about our guest really quick, we're so excited to chat with him. We just wanted to do a quick podcast shout out to a couple of those who we're running with. So really quick, I just wanted to shout out, Blurred by Nature, Excuse Me Brother podcast, Run, Thrive, Survive. And as always, an honorable YouTube mention, Jovan Bryson and big homie Scott Bernhard, right? So big ups to you guys. Appreciate you guys. Obviously, we back to back, we hand in hand, we out.
Driving on sunny days, we can skate. I got a place for you. This home that you put effort in, you told me it was made for two. The chances I would take for you to show you we're unbreakable. Every time we bonding, and when I'm in trouble, you get me out just like a bondsman. You kiss me in my sleep. When you feel them tears on my shoulder, you may weep. Even if it takes you weeks, I'll provide you what you need, for better or worse. At times we have broken up, but still made it work. For what it's worth, half of your burdens, I'ma help you hold that. It's relational, so I know that the soul matters.
So, on to the main event. So, yeah, let's talk about it. Who are we talking to today?
We're talking to Dwight.
Okay, Dwight. Let's talk about Dwight a little bit. Let's big him up real quick. Let's talk about him.
Okay.
So, where does he reside right now?
Well, Dwight is residing in Raleigh, North Carolina.
But hold on. If I remember correctly, he's not originally from Raleigh, North Carolina, right?
Yeah, he's originally from the best state in the world.
The best state, the greatest city in the world.
The greatest city, the best state in the United
Whoop,
States.
whoop, 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 whoop. All right, so what state is that?
New York.
Oh yeah. Okay. Empire State of Mind, right?
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
So, he's not one of those New Yorkers that say, "Oh, hey, I'm from New York," but really living in like Albany. No offense to those in Albany or whatever.
Yeah, it's like you don't count, but you count, but you're like an unofficial cousin, but you're still invited.
I get that all the time, man. I'm from New York. I'm from New York. Okay, what part of New York? Oh, I'm from Syracuse. Come on.
Yeah,
yeah.
Like, nah, you from Canada. You good.
Yeah.
All right, so New York City, right? He's from New York City. So I know New York City is comprised of boroughs, right? What borough is he from?
He's from Queens.
No. If you say Queens, you gotta mention the whole spiel of Queens, right? So, like, I'll start it off. Queens get the money.
Dollar bill, yo.
Right.
Yes, Southside Jamaica. Queens, and it's crazy. Yes.
Oh. I love it.
Yeah.
So, yes, like she said, we're speaking to Dwight, the man here, married 7 years to his amazing wife, blended family of four, right? He's actually been a DJ for 10 years, right?
Yeah.
10 years. It's a long time.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that's the passion and that's where he's at because, obviously doing something for X amount of years shows, you're passionate about it. Some people lose the passion.
Yeah.
But if you ever catch an episode or anything of, Dwight with the tagline,
The
Groovement.
Yes.
or better yet known as Music Gets Me Through.
Yeah,
I need
right?
that. Oh, hold on. Sorry. I need that name drop from y'all. The Groovement. I need that name drop.
Oh, man. Yeah. So the Groovement, right?
Yeah. The Groovement.
Yes. AKA Music Gets Me Through. Which he's a motivational and inspirational DJ. So he's not one of your guys who goes Ray in the clubs.
Yeah.
Find me in the club, bottle full of bottle.
Mama, I got what you need. Okay, chill.
No. That's not him. Even though he could bop to it, he probably, do a real good two-step. Yeah,
he's not doing drop down, get your eagle on. He's not doing that. But you can,
I'm retired.
And exactly. So again, motivation, inspirational DJ, something different. People don't really look at DJs as motivation and inspiration, but who's to say he can't change that narrative, right? Um, 30 years young, and the greatest thing about it is who he's been serving for the last 6 years.
Eric Thomas. Oh my gosh.
Oh, the ET.
Yes. But
What?
doesn't he have a doctorate now? Isn't it Dr. Eric Thomas now?
Oh,
Yes.
apologies, apologies. All right,
Yes.
so Dr. ET.
Yes.
All right, and he's been doing DJ work for the last 4 years and counting. Shout
Yes.
out to kudos.
Yes.
Right?
Eric Thomas is an amazing
Doctor.
Dr.
Okay.
Eric Thomas.
Okay.
You know.
Put some respect on that doctorate.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
He's an amazing motivational speaker. So inspirational.
Yes, yes. But this has been a very long intro. Obviously, we just hyping you up extremely.
Yeah, I
Dwight.
feel it. I feel it. I'm ready. I'm ready to go mix something right now. I'm good.
So, without any further ado, we want to officially bring up to the It's Relational stage, Mr. Dwight. The groove mint music gets me through. Let's go.
What's going on, y'all? What's going on, family? It's your boy, the man, the smoothest DJ in the land. It is DJ D-Dub. I'm here with It's Relational. What up, y'all? How y'all feeling?
Yo, we great,
Yeah, we're doing
man.
good,
Thank
doing
you for
good.
coming through with us. Appreciate you going through that long intro with us, because you know when we really bond with somebody or really mesh with somebody, our intros get longer. So you know, thank you for that.
No, I love it because the fact of we know each other. You know, we got to know each other before we get on. Some people are just like, hey, look, can you just get on my podcast? And then
Right.
I don't know you, you know. So I like the fact that we was able to conversate a few different times. We met in person. We
Right.
can talk about that in later, but it's like we have that relationship, you know.
Right.
And I just love the fact that you're bringing people on that you build relationships with, not just the one that you like. You know what? Let me just get you on my podcast. I feel like you're gonna get my numbers up. But
Right.
you're just basically doing it for a relationship. So yeah, I'm excited to be here. I can't wait to talk. I can't wait to conversate with you guys. And yeah, we here. You know, New York is in the building. You know what I'm saying? I love the fact that I'm talking to family too, because we are from the same boroughs and from the same state. I'm from the same city. I can't do that. I can't do state because New York State is Albany,
It's different.
Syracuse.
It's different.
So we from the city. We from the Mecca. We from the home of the brave. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's this feels really good.
Right. It's true. It's true. Like people, when we say like Subway Series, people like, yo, what you talking about? Like the Subway sandwich? Nah, we talking about baseball, Bronx versus Queens. What's up?
Like I think New York City needs to have its own biography or own dictionary. Like they need to have their own set, like or their own book,
Oh,
their
for
own
real?
their own library. They have their own library. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, let's hit up the governor. Tell him what's
That's
up.
for real. It's for real. I was gonna use another word to like say facts, you know, like because they need it, but you know we're gonna leave that word alone because it's a real New York word. You know,
It's
it's
real New
that.
York.
Yeah.
It's real New York.
Oh man,
That's a fact.
So again, we just appreciate you coming through with us. We got to drop the quick plug on how we got connected before we get into the story. We got to shout out Sister T's, you know, owners Shantae and Kanan. I love them dearly.
The best herbal tea ever.
Loose leaf tea.
Yes.
What's up?
I had my blue moon the other day.
Hey,
You know what I'm saying?
hey,
So yeah, I'm not
talk
playing
about
with it. Not playing with
Yeah.
it.
So it's your real authentic, you know, herbal loose leaf tea. Like Dwight said, Blue Moon. That's my favorite. Like I'll go through Blue Moon only. Forget the other flavors. I'm biased, but that's me.
Yeah.
But they know that about me anyway. So like, if you want to give me anything for Christmas, Blue Moon.
Facts.
Yeah.
But big shout outs to them. They definitely, like we said, they're in the mall in Raleigh, Triangle Center Mall.
Yes.
And check them out. Check them out.
Get a sample.
Yes.
They're giving out samples every day.
Just sitting them samples. You walk in, and once you get straight to the studio, somebody right there. Hey, you want a sample? You want to try this real quick?
Yeah. 100%.
It gets you all through here. It gets you. You could feel it like getting through the system. You know what I'm saying? You're like, you know what? Let me get an 8 ounce of that. Whatever you just gave me. I don't know what it's called, but let me get an 8 ounce.
Let me get it up. So Sister T gets you through. See how I did that there? See how I did
Yes.
that there?
I
You
see
smart. You smart,
it.
brother. You
That's
smart,
my new
brother.
hashtag
That's
now.
the new hashtag,
Just
yeah.
Sister T gets you three.
And if you are lucky enough, you may even see us one time serving up tea in there. You know,
Yeah.
so
Listen, you can grab an autograph here too. It's
You know what
all
I'm
good.
saying?
We for the people, okay?
Hey,
before
later down in the road, they might could give you a name on one of the T's. You know what I'm saying? We just
Ooh,
saying.
it's relational tea.
That would be nice. All right,
Mm.
all
I
right.
hope Shantae and Kane are listening.
Yeah,
Come
yeah.
on, come on, listen.
But
Or or it could be a lemonade, like a special lemonade.
maybe
Yeah,
there's some plans happening, but we can't
yeah.
talk about that. But Dwight,
Yes.
now we want to get into the nitty gritty with you, right? So obviously you've been a DJ for over a decade. We're not gonna just limit it to a decade, over a decade, right?
Hmm.
Being a DJ, obviously you transitioned through, when you started out to now, right? So we want to talk about today's episode, the correlation to being a DJ and keeping that relationship with your family, right? Um, Extended family, okay, but we're talking about the intimate family where who you reside with and sleep with and are in the same house.
Right.
So, what we're looking to do today's episode, just really talk about the importance of building relationships. So, um, I think I want to just let that go to you and see what's your thoughts on the matter. Starting it off. Yeah, let's hear from you.
So it's like building relationships within the household or within outside.
We're gonna start with the household because
Okay.
if the
Yeah,
house ain't right, everything else don't make sense.
yeah.
There we go. Yep. So yeah. So one thing I realized as a DJ, and again I always study other DJs. I study music and what people like. Music gets me through is really a thing, right?
Right.
And it really got me through since I was a kid. Just music in general. Before I was a DJ, I was to the drums. I was playing the drums at my church
Mm,
for a very long time since I was a kid up until I was able to move into North Carolina. So that was pretty much half my life. I was playing the drums, So music was a thing where I would just study and just play music, and I would go to church every Sunday instead of just going out in the streets and doing whatever. It got me out of trouble,
right.
So I say that to say, coming to now with my home, having a wife and having kids, like
Mm,
I know what music did for me when I was a kid. So now I want to make sure I bring that same energy to my kids, to my daughters, right?
right.
Having two girls is kind of challenging as a father, right?
Right.
Also, it's challenging too being the only man in the house.
I can imagine.
It gets crazy, right?
Make sure you leave that toilet seat down.
Yeah.
I have a. I'm in my office for a reason sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Go in, close the door. We lock the door, put the bolt locks on. You know what I'm saying? But all in all, I just love the fact that I'm able to show them how important music is and how I build relationships within my wife and my kids. Because at the end of the day, I tell my clients all the time, if my family can't come, I can't play. You
Mm,
understand? So I tell them that all the time. That's like part of my mission statement. If my family can't come, if my kids can't come, if they can't be there with me, because sometimes I bring my daughters with me to gigs, not to sit there, but sometimes they help me.
mm,
Sometimes they help
Oh,
me.
okay.
Sometimes they hold the camera for me. Sometimes they do a lot of things. So that's building that relationship to let them know, hey, daddy just not out there just playing music, and then I don't want to be home with you. Because as
right.
kids, that's the first thing that they thinking, like, dad, you're not
Yeah.
here with me. Where you at? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
So you with your other daughters, you got a second
Your other
fam.
family,
yeah,
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 yeah.
right.
they
Like,
start thinking crazy, and it's like,
These
no,
sitcoms gotta
you
think like
just
that.
like you're working, but now it's great that you did that for them to see you in the work field, see you how important it is to be on time for a gig, and to
mm-hmm,
be a professional in your
yeah,
field as well,
Right,
because they're gonna need these things when they, go out into workforce themselves as well. And I hope
right,
you give them a little tip too.
right.
yeah.
No free
So,
labor.
yeah. No, look. You sound just like my wife. I'm telling you. She says that all the time. If I take her with me, they be like, "Did Daddy give you money? Did Daddy give you a tip?" Like, oh, I gave him a tip on how to become an entrepreneur.
There
That's
you
my tip.
go.
You know what I'm
Big
saying?
nugget.
You
Big
know what I'm
nugget.
saying?
Yeah, but let me see a little green too.
She talking about monetary, monetary. Really?
At least
That look,
Right?
that's a mom,
Somewhere.
that's a mom instinct right there. Yeah, Deanna know what she doing.
Oh gosh.
But yeah, no, it's just important to let them know like where I go and where I'm at. So I don't mind, and I tell my youngest Dana, like we talk about it, and I will be at an event and I will tell her, hey, let me finish setting up and stuff like that, and I will FaceTime you while I'm doing my event. Because sometimes
Mm,
she wants to see it.
I
Because she
love it.
really gets fascinated with what I do.
I love
Our
it.
youngest Dana, she would get fascinated with what I do. Our oldest Destiny, she ain't really into that. But also in a relationship, like my our Destiny, she likes to do photography more. So she does what my wife does, photography. And Dana does what I do. She
Right.
wants to do
Mhm.
more of the DJing side, more of the music side. So she plays the guitar, she plays piano, like she wants to do more of the music. So she goes with me to these events. If she can go, she'll get up and go with me versus going anywhere else.
Right.
So just keeping that relationship intact. Like, okay, guys, every gig that I do have, you can go to 95% of them. Only
Mm,
time you won't be able to go is if we have if I'm doing a conference or something like that, and it's not for kids. You know what I'm
right.
saying? Like, not to say it's not for kids for us profanity or anything like that, but some events are not for kids. You
Age
know,
appropriate. Yeah.
Right, right.
it's
It's
not age appropriate.
a little too
Because
much for them. Yeah, too much
yeah,
information.
it could be too heavy for them. So
Yeah.
Right.
I that's the only part. But if my kids can go, I would take them everywhere. So that's where
Mm,
that falls into.
okay. I like that.
Mm,
I like that. I like that. It
yeah.
just shows, you know, when it comes to your, your business, you don't exclude your family from it because, I know a lot of us can attest. We can see other entrepreneurs who exclude their kids from what they're doing. They only know like, oh, my dad owns, whatever, my mom owns whatever, but they keep them away from that establishment. You say, no, learn the trades with me, and not just learn so maybe you could pick it up, but just learn the ins and outs of entrepreneurship and
Yeah.
see how daddy makes it work.
Yeah, and also just for your girls to still keep up a relationship with you
Oh
cuz
yeah, big one.
being a DJ, it's not a 9 to 5 schedule.
Hmm.
Right.
It's not weekends off. The schedule can be strenuous at times, right? Depending on what kind of gigs you're doing. It could be a weekend thing away, right? Where you're doing a
Mm-hmm.
whole concert series, right?
Mm-hmm.
or
Mm-hmm.
or a conference or something,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like, okay, I won't be home for this or that for you, but if you're there with me, at least we can still
Right,
hang
Mm-hmm.
out, spend time together.
right,
Yeah,
100%.
there's times where I went to a conference where I went to another state. I was there for about 2 or 3 days. When I went to California, and we did shout out Eric Thomas, shout out to ET. I was doing a event for E, and my wife came. My wife was there.
Nice.
And everybody, they knew my wife before she even came, of course,
I love it.
because
Mhm.
they knew who she was and stuff like that. So when my wife got there, I even told them that too. Hey, my wife is gonna come this time. My wife wants to come. My wife is more of a homebody, so she's not like me where she's just gonna get up and come to every event. But she
Right,
pick and choose what events she would love to come to. So she'll come to an event, and then people would just see her, grab her, love on her. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
She been to plenty of my conferences that I went to that I was going for about 2 or 3 days. And I
mm,
had to stay in a hotel because most of the conferences are at a hotel, and then I have to stay there for a weekend. So
right,
my wife will come. She'll come and whatever. Even if she stays in the hotel for the whole duration of time, I could tell her too. Anytime you want to come downstairs and come to a conference, you could do so. You know what I
mm,
mean? I'm not bringing you up in the room and then I'm just downstairs and then you can't see what I'm doing.
right.
So and then she also builds those relationships with the people that she surrounds herself with while she's there. She also sees the relationships that I receive and I get from what I do that encourage her to even do what she's do, which is now photography.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah,
I
that's
love it.
good. So you taught her valuable lessons,
Yeah, yeah.
building good relationships,
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
those in those field, actually in every field, you have to have good relationships built.
Right,
Because that's how you build your clientele. Whether it's photography or DJing, but in other fields too, you still got to build up your
100%.
clientele
No,
and
100%.
build up the networks and like, build friendships with people like for some reason they cannot go to the competition. They can't go to the or go to someone else. They just have to choose you
Hmm.
every time, every day, all the time.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. I understand and I respect it. And it makes so much sense. You know, usually on It's Relation, we're always focusing on the intimate relationships and how we find out how other, persons make it tick for them. But we always neglect to always talk about like the platonic and even business relationships. And this, the way how you're defining it is exactly what we believe in and wholeheartedly, we participate in, right? We're always about building better relationships with
Yeah.
everybody who we have. So, there's always, because relationships at the end of the day, I hate that it's this tagline, but it's not about what you know, it's who you know.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
when you're on the opposite side of it, where the who you know helped you get through versus what you know,
Yeah.
you understand the importance of the relationship building factor 100%.
Yeah, it's
Right.
true. Like people get jobs based off of relationships.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
for you coming in, you got all your degrees, you're ready to go, ready to get in the work field, and you're not chosen because you didn't know that the person next to you, that's his uncle,
Yeah.
or his uncle used to date his wife, or whatever, some kind of
See,
connection
but now
there.
that's kind of getting into like nepotism,
Yeah.
That
I
five
don't know. Sometimes it'd be like, or it'd be like, oh, that's a friend of my friend. Like,
that
that's how they got a
516 that
job.
that Kimal was talking about, whatever that
yeah,
he's talking about.
Yeah.
yeah.
But
So,
no,
Something like
it's
that.
but you have those you again like I always talk about it, and I'm glad that we on here because you got to also think about the relationship that we built.
yeah,
Like we met only for an hour or some change in
yeah,
person.
yeah,
And the connections and the relationship that we built just based off of that hour and some change. Look where we at. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You could have a lot of 30-minute hour conversations where they get really good, but then you're not asking them to come on a podcast and let's talk about
right.
it. You just
Yeah.
have these people where
Well,
you're talking about it and you're like, all right, well, thanks for talking. I'll see you later. And then we just go
Yeah.
yeah,
away.
it's true. It's
Yeah.
true.
Me and me and me and Kamara, what we did was we exchanged numbers, right?
Yes.
We exchanged
Yeah.
numbers, but I also was able, and then one thing that I learned too is, um, you introduced me to your wife
Oh,
at the end of
100%.
the
Yeah.
day,
Yeah.
because if that one thing that I've noticed too in this business, and just doing DJing in general is that if my wife is here, I gotta introduce my wife, right?
Yeah.
I gotta
Yeah.
introduce her because anybody could
100%.
just
Yeah.
when I think about DJing, a lot of people assume a lot of things when it comes down to DJing. Like DJ, they have such a good name because they can get a party from one thing to the next.
Yeah.
But in the back end, behind the scenes, DJs are like everything that's negative when it comes down to a
It's
relationship.
true.
You know,
Yeah.
so you look at these radio DJs, like again, we from home. We got DJs that's home. Back in New York, that's having those problems where with their relationships and stuff like that, and you thinking like, you know what, is like he's a DJ or DJs like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know how
Yeah.
Right.
The
It's true.
stigma.
You
The
lump them
stigmas.
all
Yeah. The
together. Like
stigmas.
they
Yeah.
all got groupies and side pieces and next chicks
yeah.
and whatever,
So
I
whatever.
mean, yeah.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
It's
So
true.
having those relationships and you letting people know, like, nah, like my wife is here with me. You know what I mean? And she's not just here with me just because she's a cover up. Like, nah, she's here with me because she sees what I'm doing, she knows what I'm doing, and this is who I'm with. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
that's your partner. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I have my kids with me. We're not just here for a facade. Like we're just here because this is real. You know what I mean? So
Right.
that's another reason why when it comes down to relationships, and I love that I was able to be introduced to the both of y'all and not just come on, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Because it can go that way. I can just be introduced to him, and then I'm looking at you, Deanna, and I'm like, okay, well, who's this?
Who's
Who's
this?
it?
Yeah.
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 Like, all
you
right.
Yeah, it's
know?
true. I don't I It's weird though. It's weird if that's the situation with a couple, like
Well,
your girlfriend is standing right there, or your wife, and or your husband, and vice versa, and then you don't introduce him to your friend. Like
Well,
Yeah.
that's also
it's
clearly
weird.
that's also clearly defined in with that couple's relationship, right? If
Yeah.
you don't feel good enough to introduce me to whomever you're with, it kind of says, I don't want to say speaks volumes, but it just kind of signifies that there might be something in that relationship that we're all unaware of why they're not
Yeah,
doing that.
because I'd
Right.
be hyped up to introduce Kamar. I'd be like, oh my god, this is my husband, Kamar.
Right.
Like he met my
Right.
boss, he met two of my bosses, he met all my coworkers,
Hmm.
like everybody. He met
Yeah,
everybody.
and that's one thing about my relationships. I have so many relationships with people that I even forget sometimes. You know what I'm saying? I even forget
Yo,
sometimes.
true,
I
true.
I'm telling you, I built so many relationships with people that I forget sometimes to be like, when my wife walks up and she's like, "Who is that again?" And
Yep.
so I have to either remind her or I have to tell her, "Oh, this is X, Y, and Z." You know what I mean? But because I totally forget, but I don't even try. I don't try not to introduce her or not to tell her who this person
Yeah.
is or who that person is.
Yeah,
So but that I think that also encouraged her to want to do photography more. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because she has this thing where music gets me through, right? But photos and videos get her through, right? So
Mm,
mhm.
she loves photos, she loves taking pictures, she loves video and stuff like that. So you know, if she's having a bad day, then she's looking at photos, she's looking at pictures. You know what I
right.
mean? If I'm having a bad day, I tend to music. So with her now, she's starting to become a photographer and she's starting to really get into the business of it. And she's also starting to build relationships within the business. You could take pictures of everybody and
Hmm.
anybody. You could be a street photographer, but no, if she's trying to be a family photographer and stuff like that, she's also seeing the relationships that I build as a DJ and what I'm bringing in that relational piece. That she's like, you know what? I feel like I could do the same thing, even though she's more of a introvert and I'm more of an extrovert.
Right.
Yeah, and that's
Right.
good that she takes her career seriously with photography. Cause I remember one time we were looking for a photographer, and I was like, yeah, I remember I met this girl as a photographer. She's based in New York and everything. So I was like, oh, let's have her do our the pictures we did at Central Park, right? Our
Hmm.
celebration of our anniversary. But I couldn't get her. And I'm
Mm.
like, isn't this your number? Like I couldn't get her. So we ended up going with someone else.
Yeah.
So it's good to like take it seriously and
But right,
like
you
I
didn't
said,
have. But did you have that relationship with that
that's the
person?
thing, we didn't have that relationship, but we
Right.
didn't get to build that by
What?
when I reached out at the
Right.
time to like actually talk about, okay, this is what we want to do and like how would you go about it? Like and
Hmm.
even like say she wanted to meet in person to talk more
Hmm.
about her portfolio, what she's done in photography. I would have been open to that, but that didn't happen because she
Right.
didn't return my call. So
Right.
Right.
Ooh.
you don't get the sale.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, I want to touch on Dwight, with
Yeah.
your relationship building, how you go about it with your clientele. But you just also reminded me, um, it's the same, like the same way how you are with relationships and people who you know.
Hmm.
Um, it's literally like it's kind of like we're the mirror of each other, because it's the same thing. A lot of times, I'm communicating or speaking with somebody in person, online, or whatever may have you, and Danny's like, "Oh, how you know this person?" And I'd be like, "How do I know this person? I just know them." Right? It's like so many relationships are
Yeah.
built over
Yeah.
time, and it's funny because I'm really like, between the both of us, I'm more of the introvert. But like,
Hmm.
if you look at me on, like, I guess, just regular, like, I look like the extrovert and she kind of looks like the
Yeah.
introvert. It's
Yeah.
so weird.
That
Like
Yeah,
that I
Kamar.
appearances,
Yeah, Kamar.
appearances.
Like
Yeah,
he
you
he's the
sure?
one that.
You
Yeah,
yeah,
he's
sure?
the one that goes out like to like build like relationships and stuff. Yeah,
yeah,
I do
So
too. Like I build relationships too, but he does it differently than I do.
yeah.
I think he does it more than I do. Yeah,
so
Little old me.
yeah.
All right.
But I do it too. Like
no,
when I build
hold on.
relationships,
I'm
like
confused. No,
yeah,
hold on, y'all. Hold on. Come on. You say you're the introvert.
I am.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
On paper, I'm the introvert. Yes.
Yeah, based off his personality, but I feel like I'm
Indiana,
rubbing off on
you're
him and we're
the
switching roles here.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Because
Yeah,
y'all both have
goodness,
that. Y'all
you
both
get
have
to
that.
me.
Y'all both have that spark. But I didn't. I don't. Yeah. Okay. All right. Take it.
Yeah, but it's crazy. But the
Yeah.
thing is, I'm not even like an introvert.
No. No. No.
I
No.
am
No.
an extrovert.
So in a in
Like,
a in a relationship sense, when y'all first got together, or when y'all first was introduced to each other, y'all was who was more secretive and more closed in? Who was more of the
That was me.
introvert?
That was
Okay.
me.
that was him,
100%
Okay.
me.
yeah. But I
Okay.
think because of being with me for so long, I rubbed off
You
on
rubbed
him.
off
Yeah.
on, right?
Now
Yeah,
he's all like comedic. He's all soft. My guy's into fashion. He's,
yeah, yeah,
he's like his
Wow.
extroverted side like peeks out more often now.
yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah. Well, that's
Wow.
how it is with my wife.
and
My
then
wife
I'm
is
like,
like,
yeah,
my wife is more. She's more homebody, but when she's around me, you know what I mean, and she starts to talking, I was like, oh, then who's the extrovert here? You know what I'm saying? Because
yeah,
she
yeah,
start to go, and I'm like,
Right,
oh,
right.
look at you go, look at you go. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Yeah,
It's
but now that
true.
makes sense though. When you in a relationship and you start to rub off on each other, you start to talk like each other. They even say you start to act like each other. You start to look like each other. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah, it's
Yeah,
weird.
I've
It's
seen some.
weird.
We don't look like each other, but I've seen some couples. I'm like, you sure that's not your sister? But
Yeah, yeah.
it's like they look, they look alike. Yeah.
Right.
People tell us all the time. Like they're like, y'all sure you're not brothers and sisters? Sometimes they call her my mother. I'm like, all right, y'all being weird.
Wow. Now you
Yeah,
wild.
being
No, no, no,
Yeah,
weird.
no.
Yeah. This
As
was
in
we was
New
in a
York,
out
you
of
wildin',
line,
you
right?
wildin', you
Out of
yeah.
wildin',
line,
You
you
bugging
wildin'.
out of
because
line.
we was in Virgin Islands and they said that and I'm like okay it might be because we in Virgin Islands and they all kind of have that same resemblance but I was like yeah y'all bugging like okay we're going back to North Carolina.
Yeah, that's funny. That's
Hmm.
funny. Well, Dwight, I wanted to touch back on, because obviously this was a sideline or an offline conversation that we had. And only if because I know this is kind of like your business plan, if you will. I
Yeah,
love what you said when you are meeting your clientele, going back to building relationships, how you go about it, because you're not just hey, I'm a DJ, contact me if you need anything DJ wise. Like you go a lot more in depth with it. So,
yeah.
you know, I'd like to, bring that offline conversation online because I really appreciate it more. And it was just the first I've ever heard of a DJ going to those extent, to that length. So you
Yeah,
wanna you wanna touch on that really quick?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. So, one thing that I've learned as even before I even started DJing, just the importance of having a relationship and building relationships, right?
Right.
Because one thing I do as a DJ is, and again, I people get identified wrongly when it comes down to DJs. They're like, you know what? All I need to do is call this DJ, I tell them, hey, this is how much I
Hmm.
need. This is what I
Right.
need, and then the DJ's be like, okay, I'm there. Either I'm there or I'm not there, right?
Right.
And I'm like, okay, what can I do different for them to understand that? Okay, it's about a business. It's about the relationship. It's about me not just only coming to play music. I'm more than
Right.
just a DJ that play music. I'm here to actually give you an experience. It's not just
Right.
about the music. It's about the experience. So what I do is I have a consultation call with you. So if I'm doing a wedding, even if I'm doing a small birthday party that's 2 hours, right? I want to make sure I talk to you at least three times before the event, right? I want to make sure if you're in the same state that we can sit down and have a conversation,
Right.
and I can get to know you as a person. You know what I mean? Like let's just say for instance, my big I'm uncomfortable with just total side note, like I'm uncomfortable with if I'm selling something online and you have to come get it from my house. I just don't want to give you my address. Like I need to look at your Facebook profile. I need to look at your Instagram profile. I need to check who you are first
Yeah.
before I even give you my address. So that's
Right.
how I
right.
am in relationships. Like I need to know who you are first and what do you expect from me musically? What do
Mm.
you expect from me as a DJ? Do you expect for me to just to come in and play music and then leave, or do you expect for me to play music, be on the mic, announce, do whatever? Like, cause there's always some events that I do that they would tell me four different things, and then 2 days before the event, like, hey, do you have a mic? Can you announce a whole agenda? No, that actually cost.
All
You know what I'm
right.
saying?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
For
Right.
me to be an MC, that actually cost. So
Hmm.
that's why I want to talk to people at least 4 times because just in case we didn't get nothing and you missed something the first call, we could talk about it on the second one. You know,
Nice.
Yeah.
if I'm doing a wedding, I wanna make sure that it's okay for me to come to the rehearsal dinner, because
Mm.
I want to see exactly how it flows. I want to know how it flows. Hey, don't just plug in your phone. Let me plug in mine or let me plug in my equipment and so I can practice as well. It's not just, you guys are practicing to go down the aisle and stuff, but I also need to practice myself. I want to make sure that the speakers, if I'm using the speakers in house, I want to make sure the speakers are right. I want to make
Right.
sure
Right.
that if I'm using my speakers, that it's gonna project throughout the room versus me just coming in. Okay, it looks good. It looks nice. I gotta check the wiring in the wall. I gotta make sure
Right.
the wire in the wall is right. If I'm plugging it to the wire in the wall, I gotta make sure that I meet the parents. I want to meet the parents of the bride and groom that I'm doing the event for. You know what I mean? If the grandparents is there, I want to meet the grandparents. You know what I mean? And I promise you guys, I'm not bragging, no braggadocious moment, but 95% of the people that I rock with and I build a relationship with, they always tell me, "Hey, I'm gonna adopt you as my son." I kid you not. And my
Wow.
wife, and
Nice.
my wife was here, my wife would tell you straight up. Everybody would say that, and then of course my mom would be jealous. But they tell me that all the time. Man, I'm gonna adopt you as my son. Me and my wife just did a speaking of a relationship with me and my wife, it's like me and her just did an event 2 weeks ago. And the event that we did, it was a 40th birthday party, and it was a 5-day notice. They gave us 5-day notice. They called us
Mm,
5 days before the event, right?
Mm.
But the reason why they booked and they asked for me and my wife because of our relationship,
mm-hmm.
right?
Right.
They knew who we were as people individually and together. They knew who we
Right.
are, right? They know what we're capable of. They know what we do, So they called us 5 days in advance. So of course I let them know. And one thing that this client asked me, she said, "Hey, I have this price, right? This is the price that I'm gonna pay. Can you explain to me if this is the price, or does it need to be higher, or does it need to be lower?"
Mm,
That helped me because I was able to do it. In the beginning, I kind of was hesitant, to be honest with you, because one thing I don't like is when a client tells you,
yeah.
"Hey, I'm paying this and this is it only." Like, okay,
Right.
Right.
you got to understand of what comes with what I do. What I do. Again, I'm not just a
Right.
DJ that's just gonna play music. I need you to understand exactly what I do and why it costs more than what you're trying to give me.
Right.
So
Right.
as that respect level in that relationship started to build more, I was able to, see the say what's up to the husband, say what's up to the wife, the client that I was actually doing the event for, the mom. I'm talking about when I seen her, she opened arms on the both of us, me and my wife, and then at the end of the day, she said, "Hey, y'all family now, so I'm not gonna go to any other photographer or any other DJ. I know exactly who to call." Matter of
Nice.
fact, we have an event coming in the next couple months. I may need y'all for that event. And I hear that so many times because
Mm,
of the system that I put in place.
my
Okay,
man.
I'm gonna talk to you once. I'm gonna talk to you twice. Hey, do you mind if we meet? If we can't meet, do you mind if we talk the third time? Hey, look, it's 2 weeks before the event, a week before the event. Is there something that you have that you want to add or you want to subtract?
Mm,
Because if I don't do any of that and we have a bad day, then of course the main person that they're gonna look at is the DJ.
The
DJ.
DJ. Yeah,
Woof.
it's true.
Woof. Woof.
That was detailed.
So we knew about this already,
Yeah,
but we
but
just had to, yeah.
that was detailed, and that just goes to show, like I said, take whatever career you choose, like take it seriously.
Serious.
Be a professional what you do, because so many times you've seen a performance and then there you go, the sound is like making
Right,
weird sounds, right?
right.
Or the
Yep.
mic isn't working, or
Yeah, what?
That's exactly how it sounds.
no Wi-Fi. You're chipping in and out. It's like too much. It's just like some of these versus battles. I know you've seen them, right? These
Mm-hmm.
versus battles that we had on like Instagram,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm like, you had one job: get your Wi-Fi right, get your sound system correct, your mic working. Why you having issues on the
Mm-hmm.
time of the event? You shouldn't be
Mm-hmm.
having issues. You got to be
Mm-hmm.
detailed, like
Hey,
Dwight.
hey, hey,
Mm-hmm.
okay.
Sorry.
There's such a thing as
Yeah,
technical
I
difficulties.
know,
They
but it's
happen.
like
They
the way
happen.
how he goes in. That's how you got to be,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
He
I
just,
think that's what they did in Jamaica. When they did the verses between Beanie Man and Bounty Killer, that's what
Yeah.
they did.
Mm-hmm.
They made
Mm-hmm.
sure that Wi-Fi was 1,000%
it
top
was,
and
it,
notch.
it,
and
it
and
was, it
guess
was.
and
It was
guess who
better than
got the
American.
but guess who got the most props for it was them. Because at the end of the day, if your audio, your visuals not right, they don't care. Nobody cares what music you're playing. Because
Yes.
what they doing on Instagram, they clowning your audio, they clowning your visual, they clowning
Yes.
that. They don't care
Mhm.
about the music you playing because you about to. Beanie Man is one of the dopest, one of the dopest, right? So just imagine if he's performing and his audio is just trash. They don't
Mm-hmm.
care if he's
Mm.
gonna play one of his dopest songs. They don't care about that. They don't care
Yes.
about. They
Yeah.
just care that the audio is choppy, the audio is bad, and also as a DJ, you're providing the music for that artist. So now, not only is Instagram cussing you out, now the artist is gonna cuss you out.
Yes.
So
Right.
that's why it's so much. It's so great that we're having this topic on relationships because if I don't have a relationship, so if I'm doing you guys event, right, and me and you don't have a relationship, and all I'm trying to get from you is a check, like you don't know what type of music I'm bringing,
Right.
right? You
Right.
just
Right.
know I'm a DJ and I'm just gonna play music, right? So say
Right.
like you guys are from Jamaica, so you say, hey, you know what? Can y'all play me some hip hop and some reggae? Okay, cool. I'm gonna do that for you. No, one thing about the difference between me and a DJ is gonna play hip hop and reggae. No, I'm gonna ask you, hey, what type of reggae do you want? Do you want old school reggae? Do you want this reggae? What type of old school? What
Yeah. It's
song?
true.
What reggae's? What type of song? In that genre that would get you and Deanna on your feet. Like
Yeah.
it's not
Okay.
just
Okay.
about
Okay.
Yeah.
me playing.
It's not just
For
playing it. Yeah.
example,
Yeah. It's not
Yeah.
just
It's
playing it.
true. It's true. Cause
Mm.
yeah, cause people
for
will just play
example,
Sean Paul and think that's good enough.
right, right,
It's
right.
like, "Hey,
So
little Sean Paul, you all right, girl?" It's like, no, you gotta give me a little, a little bounty killer. Give me a little Buju Banton. I need a mixture. I need
yeah,
an
because
old school,
if I
middle
don't
school,
do that,
new school. Yeah.
yeah, if I just get on as a DJ and say, you know what, I'm just gonna play off a Spotify playlist, like you're not gonna look at me the same. And then on
Mm.
top of that, when you giving me your money and your time, that's everything. I don't care if you give me $100, $200, $300. I don't care. $300 is a lot of money and when it's coming out of your pocket. So at the end of the day, if you're giving me $300 for something, and I'm just throwing a number out. If you give me giving me $300 to do an event for you and to play music for you, okay, I'm not gonna just play all Beanie Man or I'm not gonna just gonna play all Buju. I'm not gonna do all of that. Like I
Yeah.
have to find out what are the top 5 to top 10 songs that is gonna get you hyped. Because
Right.
now if
Right.
I don't do that, now I'm gonna have your whole family, your auntie, your uncles, and everybody at my booth for a song request, right? But
Right.
Yeah.
at the end of the day, respectfully, this is not your event.
Mm.
I'm trying to cater to Kamar and Deani. I can't
Right.
cater to mom, dad, pops, uncle, and them. I'm trying to cater
Yeah.
Right.
to you guys because you guys the one that gave me the money. You the one that gave me the relationship.
Right.
Mm.
You forgot Shabarangs. But anyway,
Yeah.
Yeah,
um,
yeah.
you're right. You're right.
Oh
You're right.
gosh.
Well, Dwight is the man,
Yeah,
man.
it's
Dwight is
true.
the man. I
Yeah.
could
Yeah, it's
appreciate.
true.
No,
I could appreciate that.
I'm so big on I love relationships. I love building relationships.
Right.
There's clients that I had that when I first started. Nobody knows, man. My first event that I did for and I told you guys off camera, but the first event that I did, I want people to notice. The first event that I did was for over 300 people and it was a wedding. And I only charged
Mm.
$200 for it.
Mm.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? I only charged two
Yeah.
hundred dollars for over 300 and something people. For a
Humble
DJ
beginning.
in this era, they would have charged 2,500, 3,000, even maybe even more. Some DJs charge 10,000 for that number for that amount
Mm.
of people. But I
Right.
only did
Wow.
it for 200. But guess what I built out of that? A relationship. It
Yeah.
wasn't about the money. It was about the relationship. So I can call this person, which she's no longer a client of mine. I can call her. I can call her. She's a sister of mine. She knows my wife. She knows my daughters. She knows everybody. I know her kids. And when I first started DJing, that was like my second wedding that I did when I first started DJing, right? So I can still call her now. She's the principal of a school. I did her school before. I went to her school, DJ for her kids. I did her baby shower. because again, I'm the first person that's on her mind because of the relationship. So
Right.
anytime she
Yeah.
has an event, I know when I can go to D Dub about this. I don't have to go to another DJ and figure out start the process all over again because I know I have a relationship with this DJ and I
Yeah.
know
Right.
exactly what he wants and I know exactly what he's gonna ask me what I want.
Yeah.
Right.
And
Right.
that
Right.
makes a lot of sense. So it just goes to show,
Relationships.
like, to everyone
Relationships.
out there, like, build good
Healthy.
relationships, good,
Relationship.
healthy, good relationships,
Yeah.
with people. And what's great is in any relationship, both parties need to add value in the relationship.
Hey.
It can't just be I'm only one benefiting and then you're not benefiting, you know, and vice versa. We both got to benefit from this relationship.
Right.
It may
But
not
can
be
I
like a
yeah,
monetary gain, but it could just be just someone like, okay, I can depend on you if I need something.
Right.
You're there for me, and I can be there for you if I need something as well. Like it doesn't have to be monetary.
Hmm.
but come on, before I move forward, can we talk about the bad part about these relationships and even with my relationship with my wife and my kids, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
was the thing is we talked about the good, right?
Right.
And
Hmm.
we got to talk about what made this happen before before this, right?
Yeah,
So before I was even saying, you know what, let me, my wife is coming, my girls are coming. That was always my initial thought, right? But you always have those times where it gets to a point where you're like, you know what, my daughters, right? You'll be gone so many times. Your kid don't care about what you're doing. They don't care
Mm.
about what you're going to go do. They don't care about you going to go make 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 people happy. Sometimes
Mm.
my wife don't care.
Right.
Uh,
Right.
You coming home? Like what day you coming home so you can come and spend time with us? So there'll be weekends after weekends after weekends, and then on top of that, I had a 9 to 5 job. So
Mm.
there was a long good period of time where I was barely home. You know what I mean?
mm,
So either my wife would, I would FaceTime my kids and stuff like that, but I'm barely home because I'm working my 9 to 5, and then I gotta travel. So
Right.
now it's getting to a point where now it's getting sour. The feeling is starting to get sour in my wife and my kids' mouth. Like sometimes I gotta keep reminding my wife and kids why I do what I do.
Right.
Like, because
Right.
right.
if I don't, they're just gonna sit there, keep guessing. Like, okay, Daddy's
Yeah.
going again. He's doing this again. He's doing that again, and now he don't want to spend time with us. One thing I'm learning as a single man in the house is that they want attention and they need attention. You know what I'm saying?
That they do.
You
Yeah,
That
that
know,
is
they
so
do.
true.
you
So
know,
how through that time period of I'll say figuring things out with your DJ schedule, right?
yeah.
Yeah, and why,
But
like,
that's why. But that's why I decided. That's why I said, let me bring my kids. Okay. It wasn't okay, guys. It wasn't a thought. My mind and my thought was, if my kids can't go, I can't come. I mean, my if I it, that's how it was.
Right.
But yeah, I still did a club, right? I still DJ the club. I still DJ lounges and all other stuff, right? But so I was double dutches. I was in and out. So I was doing lounges, doing clubs and stuff like that. But like, yeah, my kids could come because my music was 100% clean. So just imagine that you have a DJ at a club. So let's just say this. Imagine you have a DJ at a strip club that play 100% clean music, no cursing. That sounds weird, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah,
I wasn't gonna compromise and say, you know what, I'm just gonna play cursing. I'm gonna do that. I did that one time, and I felt so uncomfortable that I stopped the gig early because
Mm.
I felt so uncomfortable doing it.
right.
So now I'm like, you know what? My kids couldn't come to this one. My wife could come, but that's my wife energy is not like that. My wife don't curse. You know what I'm saying? So I gotta build a relationship and build a business around my family.
Right.
My wife don't. My
Right.
Right.
wife don't.
Right.
My wife don't curse. So why would I start doing gigs that has profanity and cursing and all this other stuff in it? So I had to think about it. I'm like, okay, in order to keep my family happy, to keep my wife and my kids happy, I got to build my business around my family.
Right.
Yeah,
I gotta build it around them because if I don't build it around them, I'm gonna keep clashing with them. I'm gonna keep
Yeah.
clashing with
yeah,
my daughters. I'm gonna keep clashing with my wife because if I don't do it, if I don't say, you know what, my wife now she's a photographer. I can be like, you know what, hey, come with me. We got this. I got this gig, and do you mind taking pictures? Do you mind doing X, Y, and Z? Because again, as a DJ, you get this. They get this perception of, well, he's always at the club and he's always doing this, and he always
Hmm.
working on the weekends to do a lounge that got half naked girls and X, Y, and Z. I'm not saying my wife is doing that. My wife knows exactly what I do and where I'm at, but it's just other people, unfortunately, is gonna
Yeah.
think that.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I mean? So you gotta build. I had to build my business around my wife and my kids, so they could understand and they could really know. Okay, this is what it is. And daddy, now I understand. Now I get it.
Yeah.
Right.
Because
Yeah.
Yeah.
anytime my daughter says, "Hey, can they go?" Yes, you can go. But if it's age appropriate, yes, absolutely. Dad, which I thought that I can go. No, some events is for adults only. It's not
Right.
because of the
Right.
it's rated R or rated PG or none of that. It's just if it's an it's an adult event, it's an adult event. Sometimes with kids, you got to go with that extra explanation. You got to explain it.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. Yeah. You got to give them the whole spiel.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But that makes so much sense. And what I appreciate, Dwight, that shows your maturity, in your relationship and in yourself,
Mhm.
to know that, okay, this is the issue. Family is upset. Kids are upset about my career that I love. Like, it's not supposed to hurt you. It's not, music, gets me through. It's supposed to make you feel good. Like, why is it hurting the people that I love? Right.
Mhm.
And the
Yep.
fact that you said, let me readjust, and like what you said, build your business around your family, so everyone can be happy in that
Yeah.
sense. And
Right.
that's
Yeah.
good that you made that adjustment, because if you didn't,
Lord.
you
Yeah.
know,
Where would it have been today?
where would it have been
Woo!
today? A lot, right? A lot. The
Woo!
kitchen would be too hot. It would be too hot.
It would be.
It would be too hot. So
and,
that's good
and
that
I
you
made
did that.
and it's crazy because I made that transition, and again, I just love the fact that I can, if I have an event, I can put my wife on now. Like my wife can come with me and actually work. She can actually do photography. She don't have to sit there. I can say, hey, come downstairs and come take some shots. Come get some reps in on your camera. Like, come do
Right.
it. We can have a package deal now of photography. My daughters could come and they could be a backup for my wife with photography. They both know how to do
Yeah.
they both know how to do it. They both know
Yeah.
how to
Right.
take pictures. They take pictures very well. So it's a family business now. So it's not just it's not just the white. It's me and my family now. Now they're able to come. My wife's parents, when they come, they like, hey, they came to my events sometimes. Events that I had. They even came because again, I want to make sure that my family can come. If my
Right.
family can't come, then I ain't making it.
I ain't making it. Yep.
Yeah. And I love that. I
Yeah.
love that it became a family business.
Big time.
And then it's also, building those relationships that are most important with your children and with your wife.
Right.
Spending more time together. And now you got new memories together.
Hmm.
So remember that time we did that event and this person dropped the cake? I don't know, but I've seen some videos online.
Yeah, yeah, no,
People
it's
drop
real.
the
It's
wedding
real.
True.
cake.
It's
It's
real.
It's
true.
like,
It's
what
true.
song you play for that?
It's
Yep, I see
true.
it all the
It's
time.
true.
It's real. And I
Yeah.
and like you said, I love what you just said was like now we can make memories together. We could this is a new way of us spending time with each other.
Yeah.
Like that
Right.
that event we did two weeks ago, that was us spending quality time with each other.
Right.
Because we
Yeah.
wasn't
Right.
away, because we wasn't away or whatever. Just imagine if I was just out there doing it and then my wife was just sitting there and I'm sending her pictures and she's like, you know what, it must be nice. It must be
Right.
nice.
Yeah.
But it's like because now she get to come out and she gets to experience it with me. And now we sitting in the car together on our way home, both exhausted, but we're exhausted for a good reason
Right.
because we're doing this. We did the same exact thing. We was at the same exact event. We spent the same amount of time with each other. We was on our way to event talking, on our way back home talking, getting ready for bed talking about the event. So it's
Right.
Yeah.
a
You
new
guys
way
get
of
hyped
spending
and
time.
excited. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah,
That's good.
Yeah.
Like all couples should have like something that you can do together.
Right.
hmm
It
Right.
doesn't have to be anything crazy, just something you both can really enjoy together and really
and
keep building your
that's
relationship.
why I
Yeah.
love and respect what you guys are doing.
I
Period.
appreciate it. We
Yeah.
appreciate it. Well, Dwight, honestly, we appreciate you coming on with us. My favorite term to
Yeah,
always
I was
say,
waiting for it.
I was waiting for the end. My cup runneth over.
Yeah.
Thank you for blessing us
Yes.
with, just overall how you built, how you, not, I can't say built because it's not past, it's present and future tense, building relationships around the DJ sphere and around the family and just business and again platonic and personal. So I just appreciate you coming through and gracing us, with your mindset. I'm very happy we was able to do this, right? So,
Yes, and shout out to your wife and
uh-huh.
your daughters. Yes.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So yeah, big shout outs to them. Of course they have an amazing, provider in the house. So again, shout outs to them. But shout outs to you,
Appreciate it.
Dwight, again. And I think Danny, we're gonna close up shop.
All right. So, to everyone out there, have a great day, a great evening, a great night, and wherever you are in the world, stay blessed.
Yes, be well.
It's relational.